What's up, guys? My name is Mr. Green, and in this video, we're going to be talking about David Fincher's psychological masterpiece, Se7en. Now, before we get started, I've been wanting to try something new with the channel. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to get set up, but it's taking some time. That's why you haven't seen me for a while. But I wanted to do something like a series of movies. I was going to do the Jack Ryan films, but then I saw this.
Meg, it's Orson Welles.
Of course it is.
I think it's time we talked.
And then I immediately knew what I had to do next. I had to do a David Fincher series. I have to review all of his films. There are a few that I haven't seen. I haven't seen like Gone Girl, The Game, Panic Room, Social Network. I haven't seen Social Network. There, that's a big one. That's the one that everyone says it's amazing. But the ones that I have seen, I've seen Se7en, I've seen Zodiac, I've seen The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and I've seen Fight Club. And I'm going to be doing these in the order that they were released, and I am not counting Alien 3 because he hates that movie. He wishes he never made it, and yeah, so I'm very excited to start doing this. And I obviously have to start off with Se7en because it's the one that came out right after Alien 3. And I'm just really excited to get into it. I'm going to be doing the usual, talking about what's good, talking about what's bad. And then I'm going to be reviewing my trusty Blu-ray copy that I have right here. What a copy. And let's get started. So right off the bat, I want to introduce a common element with all the Fincher films that I've seen. I loved it. I love this movie so much. It's speechless. I mean, seriously, this movie is just every single level of awesome. It has great acting, it has great directing, great pacing, great cinematography, and a crap ton of suspense. This is like an assault on your nerves, and if you don't know the ending, which sadly I was aware of, and also spoilers for this video, but if you don't know the ending, it's gonna mess with you. So I'm warning you, if you haven't seen this movie and you don't know the ending, good luck. So despite the fact that I do love this movie, I'm going to be reviewing this in the normal way. I'm going to be talking about what's good first and then what's bad, as I previously established in this clip. That one right there. Beautiful. And I'm really excited. Let's get into it. First off, I love David Fincher's directing style. I love the way he uses color in this film. It's very tinted, in a kind of gross yellow. When the film started, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this. But after a while I got used to it, and I think it really helps set up the sort of uneasy tone and just the feel of this movie. If this movie had a smell, it would smell like dead bodies and sewage. Something I love about this is that this city doesn't have the city that they're in. It doesn't have a name. They just call it the city. Why would you want to come to this city? Oh yeah, I've been working at this city for so long. And it just gives this kind of hellish feel. You feel like you're in the worst place in the world because there is two good people in this movie. Or, I guess technically three, but by the end, there's only two. Or technically one, actually. But this is a very scatterbrained thought, so I'm going to get everything back on track right now. But the feeling that this film puts you in, you're constantly on edge. You don't know what's gonna happen. You're just in this forever. In some scenes, the suspense is upped by a million. But even in the smaller scenes, you're just kind of sitting there, and there's just something a sort of a shiver on the back of your head that's just sitting there waiting to pounce up at you in the next suspenseful scene. And by God, there are some suspenseful scenes. Another thing that I love is that this is a borderline horror movie. Much like Silence of the Lambs, it's a psychological thriller, but they're right on the edge of becoming just a flat-out horror film, because this is a grisly movie. Some of the 7 deadly sins or the murders that they have, some of them aren't shown as much as others, but I feel like the ones that aren't shown are worst. The lust one, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to see that. I'm glad they didn't show it, and it just makes you uncomfortable, but not in the bad way. It makes you uncomfortable in the good way, the way where you know it's oh, it's intentional. I'm supposed to feel this kind of icky sense, and they pulled that off really well. This film is also extremely fast paced. It doesn't give you, it gives you like one scene to breathe, but even like the scenes where you're just sitting in a library, you're just constantly on edge. And it doesn't give you a time to breathe. It's just like constant like sense of dread, fear, and that results in a very, very fast pace. Also love the cast. Brad Pitt gives a great performance, as he does in most of these Fincher films, and most films in general, honestly. Morgan Freeman, always a pleasure. Gwyneth Paltrow, I liked her in this movie. That's a rare feat. I mean, yeah. Something that I wasn't aware of is that I didn't know that Kevin Spacey's role in the film was a secret. When I was watching the credits, I was like, did I miss his name? And I was watching, I asked my mother, because I was watching it with my mother, and she said when this came out, no one knew that he was in it, and this was like right after like The Usual Suspects and all that, so he was like already a thing. But then when he showed up, everyone was like, oh my god, it's the guy from Usual Suspects. What's he doing here? And he's really scary in this movie. It's gross. I mean, sure, I could tie that to current events, but why would I do that? Because it's just a good and freaky performance on its own. I mean, props, for real. The film is also written very well. It's got a great screenplay. The soundtrack, very good as well. The ending, iconic and horrifying. And it's just really good all around. I can't think of one bad thing in the movie. I mean, the production design, it's very like sort of like a gothic type of like design. I mean, it's not like Tim Burton. This is more like subtle gothic, but still very like kind of like getting under your skin. The costume designs, I mean, sure, they're just wearing clothes, but it's nice clothes. And even the practical effects, I gotta give credit to that, because I mean, you look at some of these murders, and they look really, really convincing and really, really, really good. Especially the what was it? The sloth one. God, that was a great scene. Fun fact that you may know is that aside from like Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, no one knew that he was gonna like pop up alive. So those reactions from the other cops in the room, that's 100% real. They were just like, oh, okay, I guess we didn't read the script, so we're just gonna do this. So I understand their fear in the faces, because, you know, that's some scary stuff right there. So yeah, go see Se7en. It's an amazing movie. It's not out in theaters. That's what I kind of made it sound like when I said go see Se7en. And it's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite psychological thrillers. It's an amazing film. Great kickstart to David Fincher's career, or at least the real kickstart to David Fincher's career. And I'm going to give Se7en an A+. Now to talk about this Blu-ray. This was shot on film because they didn't have, couldn't use digital back in the 90s because it wasn't a thing yet. And it is handled really, really well. When you can't make something out, it's not because it's a bad like Blu-ray transfer and it's like they just did a poor job with the restoration. You're not supposed to see what's really there, and it does a good job at masking that, unlike other films where you can see key things that you're not supposed to see. But this handled really well. It has a DTS HD master audio track, which is learning those terms now. That's good. And it sounds really well. The opening credit sequence with that song, it's like surround sound. Even if you don't have a speaker, like it's just like all around you, and you can just feel it. It's like it's handled really well. I don't really have many problems with the audio and the visuals because, you know, anything that you're not supposed to see, you can see. So that's handled immensely well. The picture quality is really, really good. The audio quality is really, really, really good. And now for the packaging. As you may see, unlike Gremlins, I do have the iconic moment slipcover. Got this at a wonderful Walmart. It was the only Blu-ray copy of Se7en left, and I got the slipcover. Was kind of annoyed that when you take it off, you have the normal one under, which I wasn't a big fan of this kind of artwork. I think it's, I don't know, there's nothing bad with it. A lot of the posters for Se7en I don't really like, except for the one that I've used in this video, that one. The other ones, they just feel kind of like very like an indie, like metal grudge film. But, you know, we got the slipcover as previously seen. We have the normal Blu-ray case. And no unique artwork on the disc. It's got the 7 written on there. But it's pretty standard in terms of the packaging. And now for special features. Special features include 4 commentaries featuring director David Fincher, actors Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and other collaborators on the film. I haven't listened to them yet, so I'm not entirely sure who's on there, but look forward to looking at that. Additional and extended scenes, which are pretty good. Alternate endings, ridiculous alternate endings. Exploration of the opening title sequence from multiple video angles with various audio mixes and 2 commentary tracks. Production design and still photographs with commentaries. The notebooks, full motion video details, John Doe's writings. Mastering the home theater includes alternate angles and audio between the original and new masters, and the theatrical trailer. It's got a lot of special features, which is always welcome. So, all in all, pretty solid, pretty epic Blu-ray release. Not one of the best. Well, I mean, it's above average is what I'd say. I couldn't get it in from the bottom there. Above average with my copy. It's kind of messy slipcover, but that's just because I was foolish bringing it home. But so that's on me. So guys, in the end, 7 is a great film and it has a really good Blu-ray. Pretty solid, a little bit above average. So I'm going to give the Blu-ray for 7 an 8 out of 10. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share, subscribe. I look forward to reviewing all the David Fincher films leading up to Mank, which I also will be reviewing. Because, you know, Netflix review, it counts. Maybe once theaters come back, I'll do, like, cinema review or something. We'll get there. But, you know, I'm very excited to bring you those videos. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on nothing, because I don't have anything. I gotta fix that. So, next video, okay? Good.